Welcome to Ask Between the Keyframes on Motionographer. What up?
Hi, Austin.
Hey, Erin.
Okay, this is exciting. Another Ask Between the Keyframes.
Right? Cool.
Let's dig in.
Let's do it. We got a question from Harshit Desai, who is actually one of my alums from SCAD. What up, Harshit? He's super talented. I remember he was an animation major, a graduate student who got really into motion design classes. And I remember we did a Battle of the Boards workshop, and I believe he won the Battle of the Boards. Yeah, it's a big deal. But I know he's been working for a bunch of years now, making all kinds of cool stuff. So here's his question. As someone who has recently started freelancing, or is finally able to start freelancing, he's got his visa, international, blah, blah. What would you suggest are 3 key points to set yourself up as a business or independent sole proprietor LLC? Any books, websites you would suggest to go about? Okay, so lots of resources out there. I'll speak a little bit from my experience, probably getting set up as a business. There's lots of options, and I've kind of done all of them. When I first started, I was working purely as an individual with my social security number as a freelancer. And if you've got a work ID, you can do that. Next level is a DBA, doing business as, and it's like a registered business. And that you can get a tax ID with that, or you can work with your social security or visa ID. And a step above that is an LLC. That's what I have now, limited liability company. That works with a tax ID. My accountant helped me set that up. I like an LLC. I also had something that's even a level up from that, which is an S corporation or C corporation, an S corp. That also works with a tax ID. My accountant helped me set it up. And that offers probably, like, you can be at least what I was told, you can be the most aggressive in terms of operating as a business, tax deductions. I personally like LLC because it offers the separation from personal and business, and it gives me the perception of being a business, which can be important depending on like who you're working with. And some studios or agencies do require you to have an LLC or get put on their third person party payroll. But and also there's a lot less paperwork in an LLC than an S corp. I didn't like all that paperwork. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, I would recommend also talking to an accountant that you trust. And most of them will help you with the paperwork, or your lawyer.
Yeah, you just pay them and they'll set it up for you.
Yeah, you just pay them. Yeah, and it's nice to have a little bit of that, information just like really dialed in. So I like how Austin overviewed it. It's great to know that you have a ton of options out there. But ultimately, like, you should chat with somebody before you make a decision, I think. Cool. I have other ideas. I would familiarize yourself with the hold system, like really understand how studios communicate with you and what that part of the process is like. It's very kind of, I think, strange to people coming into the industry in that way. And I would definitely get yourself like a calendar program or something, even if it's simple. Like Austin used iCal, right? It's basically
iCalendar,
yeah.
Yep.
And I would focus on making a system in place that works for you, because holds can go really far out in the future, and then you have first holds and second holds, and when people reach out to you, you got to get back to them pretty quickly. So I would just highly recommend making sure you start organized from the jump.
You got to manage your time, and even if you're taking on projects like direct to client, like organize okay, when's the delivery dates, and building your schedule so that you can make sure you can meet those deadlines. The other thing I think is super important is having a reliable backup system, right, for storage and media. And that's something I know for me, I have anticipatory anxiety, right? I freak out if I'm unsure, right? And the idea that, if I only have one copy of whatever project I'm working on, and my computer blows up. And now I would hate to have to go to a client and be like, sorry, I lost your project, right? So like having a system where on a daily basis everything gets backed up, right? And I've done that for a lot of years using external drives. Now we have cloud-based, and the cloud's actually it's accessible. So there's a lot of options out there to be able to back up your work, because things happen, right? And I think for me, that's just a really important part. Like, that's being professional, that I can ensure a client that I can handle their project, their media, and that I'm not going to drop it and be like, oops.
Yeah, I mean, it's one day if an artist loses like a day of work. It's another thing if the whole thing's gone. Also, like on that point, like no project is ever finished, so they're going to call for revisions at some point. So having it accessible, especially if it's in the cloud, like, that's going to be really important to have. And then I have a bonus one. I know you only asked for 3 things, but now with remote, your options for freelancing are vast and global. So I would make sure you have really, really good internet. Really, really good internet.
Absolutely. And something I've done for pretty much as long as I've been remote, which started in like late 2000s, 2007, 2008, is upgrading from residential, if you're going to work like in your home studio or get your own studio. I've upgraded from residential to business internet, because you can get faster speeds and you can get within 24-hour tech support if things go wrong. Where residential, they'll be like, yeah, we'll send somebody out in 3 days. And you're like, I have to deliver this project. So
yeah,
super important, fast internet.
All right, well, good luck with your freelance endeavors.